Tejano is a popular music style fusing Mexican, European, and U.S. influences. Its evolution began in northern Mexico and Texas in the mid-19th century with the introduction of the accordion by German, Polish, and Czech immigrants. Tejano music is important to Mexican Americans, not only because it is a part of our history, but also it has kept our identity alive. In the racist times of the 1800s and 1900s, Tejano music was a way to bring Mexican Americans out into the world. You may have heard or listened to Tejano music and not even realized it. Some of the more popular artists are Gary Hobbs, Flaco Jimenez, Little Joey La Familia, Ruben Ramos, Ram Herrera, Shelly Lares, Stephanie Montiel, Jennifer Peña, and of course all of you know and recognize Selena. In this episode of the Latino Business Report, our guest is Monica Saldivar. Monica exemplifies the newest generation of Tejano artists. Since the recording of this episode, one of Monica's songs made it to the #1 spot on a Tejano chart. Congratulations, Monica. Monica's dedication, determination, and love for the genre is just one example of why Tejano music will never die.
Welcome to the Latino Business Report. This podcast covers business, people, and issues of the day from a Latino perspective. The Latino Business Report is brought to you by TAMAC, the Texas Association of Mexican American Chambers of Commerce. TAMAC is the leading Hispanic business organization in Texas since 1975. Now for your host, J.R. Gonzalez.
And welcome to another episode of the Latino Business Report. Today we have a special guest. I have watched this young lady not only grow up age-wise, but grow up in her career. When I first met her, she was a teenager, and now she's a grown woman who has a very, very successful career. And her name, Tejano singer Monica Saldivar. Monica, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing fine. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you had a great Christmas and a good New Year.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been great so far. You know, it can only go up from here, right?
There you go. There you go. And speaking about going up, I've noticed, you have been moving up through the charts. When I first met you, you were just doing little events and little fiestas here and there, but you've really made a name for yourself in the Tejano industry. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a journey for sure since the last time we've seen each other.
It has been a journey. Now, in that journey, one of the things that I find unique, and it's kind of a Latino thing, but it's also a family thing with you. I've noticed that not only do you have a successful singing career, and it's pretty much a full-time job for you in performing and singing. You've been moving up through the charts. You're making a name for yourself. But I also see your entire family is there with you.
Yep.
So, since this is a business report, kind of break it down for us, Monica, as far as how your entire family is involved in this business or this industry that you're working in.
All right. So, when we first started off, we were just, learning. All of us were learning. My dad, my mom, my brother, and it was, it was one of those things that we wanted to make sure that as a team, not just as a family, we wanted to make sure that we were strong because we've always been strong as a family. The support has always been there 100%, and the belief too, and that this is going to grow. So my dad is the one that is the manager of the band. He helps with the bookings. He helps with basically he's the one that handles everything financial wise as well with the bookings. My brother Joey, and everybody seems to know him too. So it's like when we go out, everybody kind of knows exactly who these people are because we are always 100% together. So my brother Joey handles the social media, the multi-digital media, anything that has to do with streaming, our merchandise website, also taking pictures and video and making sure that we have content to post and keep everything pretty relevant. So my brother handles all of the social media and marketing side. We call him marketing.
Okay. He's the marketing department.
He is the marketing department. The one person is the whole department.
Got it.
And then my mom, she handles a lot of the bookkeeping as well as the merchandise and the sales. we've kind of recruited my tia Susie and Josie, and give a shout out to them, to help with the merchandise and the sales as well. So now there's 6 of us, so my aunt and our friend Josie handles that with my mom. And it's been a really incredible journey with all of it. I couldn't have done it without them. I can't do it without them. I mean, they're an extreme part of what makes everything fine-tune and work together.
So the Monica Empire is made up of mom, dad, little brother Joey, and two tias.
Oh, he's my older brother.
Older brother, okay. Older brother Joey. Okay, so you got big brother to watch out for you. Well, that is great.
Absolutely.
I mean, and I'm sure everybody really, really enjoys working alongside, not only with other family members, but working for such a great purpose. I mean, this isn't work. I mean, you have fun at it.
Right. That's the way it should be. I think one of the best things that I've ever heard is if you find a job that you love, you never work again, and that's something that I've accomplished, and I'm grateful for that achievement. I think that's the best part of the singing, is that we all love it, we all enjoy it, we all have fun. I mean, it's stressful at times. I mean, I'm not going to lie to anybody. It can be stressful, and especially being a woman.
This industry has been male-dominated. I mean, from the very get-go. You've seen it way before Selena. You've seen it with Patsy Torres, Lara Canales, Elsa Garcia, the pioneers, the women of, the genre that have pioneered and made it possible for us. The people that have pioneered it for me, ultimately, because I am, at a different stage of life.
Different generation. You're the next generation.
Yeah, of this generation. So Shelly Lares, Elida Reina, Stephanie Montiel, Rebecca Valadez. These are the artists that ultimately pioneered that for me, and for the many women that we have in our genre now. So, to come up from a male-dominated genre, and I mean, it's still male-dominated to some extent, but ultimately to come up in a male-dominated genre and to be, strong and to have the backing that I do with family and with my fans and friends in the industry. I've been very, very blessed. I've been super thankful for the opportunity. Again, it has its moments. It's difficult. It's a challenge. But ultimately, if you are doing something that you love, you have to put 100% of yourself into it. And I try my best to be professional and to be on top of things. And I think it's doing good so far.
So far, yeah, I mean, you're being successful. Now, the fact that it's been a male-dominated industry for so long, and the names that you have put before there are moving up and have definitely made an impact. But you have a beautiful singing voice. You have a lot of talent. You could have gone in any genre, any direction. Why Tejano music out of all of them out there to choose from?
So, Tejano music has always been a love of mine as I grew up. Me and my brother, we grew up with many different genres in our household, from rock, country, mariachi, R&B. We had a lot of different influences. And of course, being, brought up in the 90s, you have the 90s pop, the boy bands and things like that. And for me, I never really, looking at the different genres, I never really saw a version of myself, a Mexican-American female that, loved her culture, definitely needed to learn the language, obviously, because I think that was something that was really, the only thing I felt was missing. And I still have to learn it, obviously, but
okay, so
I
Spanish,
always felt like
you're not that am I understanding you're not that fluent in Spanish?
I can read it, I can write it, I can understand most of it, I can sing it, obviously.
You can definitely sing it, I know that.
But
okay.
The communication, it's always something that's a little bit harder for me to do because I did learn the language a little bit later on in life.
Okay.
And so I have a little bit of fear of saying the wrong thing. There's so many different words to say that could possibly be not the right way to say it. So,
well, I think there's somebody we all know named Selena that had the same problem. So I think you're in good company. If she overcame it, I think you can too. Well,
Right.
that's
No,
interesting.
and
The
especially,
fact that it wasn't, yeah, just interesting. The fact that it wasn't native to you, it was more of a second language that you learned later on in life. But yet, you were, at a young age, you were gravitated to the music, to the language.
right. Yes. And I think the reason why I was so interested in wanting to be involved in Tejano music is because I saw somebody that looked like me growing up, which was Selena. She
Okay.
was this person that grew up not necessarily knowing Spanish, but was confident enough to sing it and to perform it and to dance and to really, bring the people in and bring, that part of our culture alive. Um, she was strong. She was fearless. And, obviously a lot of us artists, a lot of the younger artists, we look up to somebody like that, mainly because we all associate with that. Most of us that, grew up Mexican American, wanting to do music, not really seeing the representation in the pop or rock or R&B. So I've always loved Tejano music because it is a part of who I am. It is a part of my culture. Um, another thing about Tejano music was that the fans were so welcoming to new talent, to wanting to hear new artists sing and perform and things like that. They're always going to love the classics. They're always going to love the OGs and the originals and wanting to, pay homage to that. But they're so inviting and welcoming to people like me who started off as a track singer. And, not too many people took us seriously. I will say that. But, the people that did give us an opportunity or a chance, the fans were very welcoming and inviting. And that was one thing that I was super excited about whenever I first started singing. So I kept going. I kept wanting to do more songs in Spanish. I wanted to learn more about the culture. We used to go to fanfare all the time to support some of my cousins that performed a long time ago with Veronica y Avance, which my cousin is Veronica Sustaita, and the band was mostly made up of my cousins. Okay. So we were surrounded by it most of the time when we would go to fanfare, and I looked up to her very much as a young girl, and I got to meet Shelly Lares, I got to meet Stephanie, I got to meet Elida.
Were those your role models growing up? I mean, they were there before you. They were in the industry, as you say, being a pioneer and breaking the ice. But did you kind of look up to them, and now you're actually working with them and performing with them?
Absolutely, yes. So that's the crazy thing about it. There was one event that was happening. And mind you, I've always wanted to do different styles of music. I've always wanted to not just be in one category. I wanted to do all different types of music. So as I was growing up, there was an event that my cousin was doing that involved all of these amazing women. And it was a mariachi event. So these are Tejano artists singing a different style of music. And that really inspired me to want to create music to begin with, because that gave me the green light to be open-minded to the fact that it doesn't have to just stick with one genre. Like, you can completely do any type of music, but you also want to make sure that you're subjective to your fan base, right? Okay. So one of the first artists that I ever got to meet was Shelly Lares. And I was about, I want to say 13 or 14 years old. I hadn't even started singing just yet, doing little talent shows here and there, but ultimately just enjoying the ride of getting to meet these artists. And Shelly has always been that person that's, just gung-ho and, says what she feels, and she's not afraid to speak out. And she's Little Miss Dynamite for a reason,
Definitely. I mean, she started at a very young age and got that title, Little Miss Dynamite, and the title still sticks. I mean, she is just dynamic on stage, and she is a powerhouse.
And the thing that I love about her is that she mixes it up just as much as I do, and ultimately that's kind of what is one of the biggest inspirations that I have, is that she's not afraid to do things outside of the norm, outside of what's expected, outside of the category. She has a vision and she goes with it, and she sticks to her guns. And, ultimately all throughout this time, I look back and I realize she's been with me the entire journey of my career. From the moment that I met her at 13 or 14 years old to the time that I decided to do Tejano Idol that she was emceeing at, that I didn't realize she was emceeing at, becoming runner-up in 2013 and then retrying in 2015 and her being the MC once again. And then to keep moving forward and, you know, always being a fan, of course, but her becoming my mentor to now you look at how our relationship is, and she's ultimately a big sister to me. So it went from being a fan to being family.
Okay, so she's more than a mentor to you. She's like family, you said.
Absolutely.
And so back in 2013, you were first runner-up, and then you went back in 2015 and became, what was it, Tejano Idol?
Yep, Tejano Idol.
Congratulations. Now, you've there's a lot of people, you know, Tejano music, Tex-Mex, you know, Tejano. I mean, it's very indigenous to Texas and this part of the country. Do you think there's a future for Tejano music? I mean, there's some people that think that say that it's dying out, that it's not going to last much longer. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that Tejano music isn't just the music itself. It's the people, right? So ultimately, the more that we teach the tradition of what Tejano music is, and Tejano music is always going to be evolving to me. It started when I was a little girl. It started when it started evolving even more so when I was a teenager. And now, you know, it's evolved into something a lot more modern. And I think there's a side of it that, you know, the older generation is not super keen on having the modern side come in. But then we have to also include and incorporate the younger generation. We have to show them that it can be something that's evolving and growing and things like that. What I love about Tejano music is that it's not just one thing or another. It's fused together. It's a melting pot of what music can be. And ultimately, that's what our people are as well. We're never just one thing or the other. We're a very big mixture of all different types of people coming together for the love of something specific. I think that Tejano music will stay alive for as long as the people will continue to tell the stories, you know? So ultimately, it's part of our culture. It's ingrained in us to continue it. And for the people that want to continue to keep it alive, they will continue to tell the stories of the greats, of the classics that they were brought up on, which also will be incorporated in how they train their kids and how they teach their kids the music. So,
and I guess much like you, that as they learn about it and watch it and hear it, they get inspired by it, and then they want to do it as well.
Yeah.
You know, ergo, another generation of Tejano singers.
Exactly.
In a way, I guess it's kind of like mariachi. I mean, mariachi is very specific. It's a genre. It's something, and it'll never die because of those people that learn it, that hear it, that appreciate it and want to continue. So I guess to your point, the same thing in Tejano. Now, Monica, you've been moving up through the charts, and congratulations. I just beam when I see your name move up on those charts, and I'm going, wow, I know her. She's done so well. Now, before the show, we were talking. There's one thing that really kind of struck me different about you, or unusual, if you will, is that you mentioned that you know about the charts, but you really don't pay that much attention to them. I mean, you're a singer. You're moving your way up to the top. Why don't you pay attention to the charts?
So my reasoning behind not paying too much attention, and I want to preface this by saying,
I'm sure your brother Joey pays attention to. Does Joey pay attention to the charts?
Oh, Joey, of course, he has to. No,
that's his job. That's his job.
It's his job, right? No. But I will preface this by saying, are the charts important to my career and to the rising of that career because it is, you know, fan-based and it is, you know, something that is put on by the radio stations and things like that? Absolutely 100%. I will never say that the charts are not important. However, for me as a person that, you know, got into music to begin with, to create music, my main goal, my main purpose that I have is to create music that is meaningful, that impacts my fans, that impacts the people in either a positive way or in a remembrance of something that they felt. I want people to feel my music. I don't want to just do music out of competition, right? Music is already a healthy competition on its own. It's always going to be an industry where it's either going up or going down. That's the business side of it. It will always be that way, regardless of my goal or not, right?
Okay.
Do I enjoy being on the charts? Absolutely. Do I love, winning the awards? Absolutely. Or the recognitions that I receive? I will always love that. I feel very blessed to have that opportunity. But to me, those are achievements. They are not long-term goals. My goal at the end of the day is to provide something other people can feel. That is my long-term goal.
And I appreciate the long-term goal, and you're absolutely right. But it's also a business. You have to make money doing it. I mean, you got to support your big brother Joey. You got to support your mom, your dad, your tias. I mean, the industry. I mean, as your popularity grows, so does the family business, if you will. So, and I know you know this. The success. There's a direct correlation to that, and cash flow. Cash flow is important. I mean, this is a business report, if you will. So it is an industry. It is a business within itself. And how, as a singer, as an entertainer, and you're very blessed, very fortunate to have good people around you. They take care of the business. Do you pay much attention to the business itself, or are you just more interested in performing and creating music?
I do pay attention to the business as far as, making sure, because it's not just my family that I have to worry about too. It's my guys, my band, my brothers,
Okay.
Ultimately, there's 7 of us, and we've done venues where I'm happy to say that we've done venues, that are pretty big for Tejano bands around this DFW area. We've gotten to do a lot of like post-cowboy parties at Texas Live over here. We've also gotten to perform at a casino in Choctaw Casino,
Okay.
So we've gotten to do a lot of corporate things, but also we do parties, we do weddings, we do anniversaries. Ultimately, I do pay attention to how the business goes, but I do look at it more in a sense of how can we incorporate more music so that we can get out there and so that we can be multi-diverse in our music. But, it is a business at the end of the day, like you said, and we want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward in what we have, quality. We want to make sure that the quality of our performance is a good experience for the people that want to watch us and ultimately that want to pay to see us or pay for the merchandise or ultimately pay for the music. So
there you go. So it is about business in a sense.
Absolutely.
Now, Monica, you did something here in one of your songs. I know that you personally have a lot of feeling towards this, but you have a song about abuse, women being abused. Tell us about that.
So Soy Más Fuerte is one of those songs that is talking about domestic abuse. The songwriter for this is Jesse Villarreal. He came up with the idea because ultimately he was writing the song about his mom who had experienced domestic abuse throughout his childhood, and pitched the idea to me to see if I would be willing to do it and talk about it and speak up about this matter, because it's not something that we typically talk about a lot in our culture and in any culture outside of ours. And ultimately I wanted, like I said, I create music to speak to different emotions and to speak to my audience. And so I wanted to make sure that I did this song justice. We got together on this song. It was one of those things that I wanted to dedicate to people that have gone through it, to people that are continuing to go through it, and then to the people that we've lost, to the families that have dealt with somebody that they've lost because of it. The song Soy Más Fuerte, it's talking about being strong enough to walk away. Now, it's never an easy situation, not too many people have been able to have the courage to walk away from the abuse itself, but it's to give hope to those people that are experiencing it or, you know, have gone through it. I've had a lot of people come up to me at my shows and, you know, have told me their story, or have had them reach out to me on social media. And I just want to say thank you, you know, to them for feeling the courage enough to come to me and to talk to me about it. And I'll always take time out of my day or out of my, you know, out of the performance to make sure that they are heard, because ultimately that's what the song is representing, to have a place and a platform for them to tell their stories and to be heard.
Okay. Well, with your permission, Monica, what I'd like to do is can we play a little segment of that song for the audience?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. And you want to introduce it? The name of the song again is?
All right. The name of the song is Soy Más Fuerte.
Soy Más Fuerte. Here we go.
Soy más fuerte que tus engaños y las traiciones con las que siempre me has pagado. Soy más fuerte que las palabras con las que siempre intentaste humillarme. Soy fuerte, soy más fuerte. No esperes ver mis ojos llorando por tu adiós. Hace tiempo se cansaron. No esperes que mi corazón extrañe tu amor. Hace tiempo ya te he olvidado y solo Dios me dio el valor y soy más fuerte.
Wow. That is a powerful song, Monica.
Thank you.
I know you said somebody told you about that, but where do you get your inspiration? I mean, where do you get your creativity to put that kind of energy into a song? And when you're writing songs and creating new ones, where does that come from?
Honestly, my inspiration on things is my fans. Ultimately hearing their stories, ultimately being able to talk about, you know, different things that other people have experienced. Now, I do have music that I have experienced on a very deep level of love and loss and pain. But, you know, when it came to this song, I wanted to make sure that I was open-minded to the stories that I was going to be hearing from the many different men and, you know, women and men that have gone through this. It's not just subjective to women. So I think the biggest blessing that I have, you know, achieved over the years, is just to listen to my audience, just to listen to my fans, and to, you know, bring light to the stories that they have for me so that I know how to emote that. We all experience many different emotions: love, pain, sadness, happiness, you know, and that's why I create music, is not just to feel, but to remember those feelings and to have something to look back on and be like transported back into that feeling.
All about the emotions. I mean, how true. And it seems like every song reminds you about a situation or a time in your life. And your song that hit, what, number 7 or 8 on the charts? That's about... tell us about that one. That's one of those classic songs that everybody has that experience. Well, not everybody, but most people, if they've lived in for any amount of time, have experienced this. And tell us about that song and what it's about.
So I'm assuming this one is Infraganti.
Exactly.
So Infraganti is talking about catching somebody red-handed cheating, and the feeling that it feels when you catch them in this lie. Ultimately, you know, towards the end of the song, it's to hell with it, you know, and this is one of the first times that I'm being a little explicit. But ultimately, it's true. Whenever you're feeling this, this betrayal, ultimately, because that is what it is, you're just like, I'm done, I don't want to feel this way anymore. You forgot about me, basically. And so ultimately, this song, it's empowerment because I'm leaving the betrayal behind. It's hurtful. I'm in pain because of it. You hurt me. I caught you because you hurt me. But
you're strong enough to move on and not get caught into that trap. Okay. Now, a lot of songs, a lot of songwriters, a lot of people perform things that they had experiences with. Did somebody break your heart, Monica? Is that why you performed that one?
I definitely put a lot of emotion whenever
if somebody broke your heart, give me his name and where he lives, and we'll take care of it for you. Okay? I can't believe anybody would do that.
I mean, we're as an artist, we're not. We don't get to eliminate that part of our lives, right?
You're human. I mean, you got to live. I mean, you're human beings.
And so any kind of heartbreak, any kind of love that was earned or love that was lost, we're going to experience that. And just like Taylor Swift, we're also going to perform it. So that's probably the best part about, performing and singing, is that I have reasons as to why I sing the way that I do. If it's a heartbreak, I put even more emotion into it. If it's somebody that I loved or somebody that, connected with my song in a certain way, because I do have people that'll reach out and be like, that's my song. That song right there is my song. I love singing that song. So I'll put more emotion to it because I remember this person fell in love with this song, or this person loves this song because it represents somebody that they care about. So yeah, I mean, I've had heartbreak, but I've also had love, and currently just on my own.
So it sounds like a lot of what you do for your fans.
Absolutely.
You do for the love of music, and you definitely do it for your fans. And you do have a lot of fans. Let me ask you this. We're almost out of time. I could just talk to you forever. But is there anything you'd like to say to your fans? Oh, first of all, before we do that, where can they find your music? I mean, you have a website. Where can they find your merch? Where can they go? And I will list this on the podcast notes, but where can they go?
All right. So you can find my music on all digital platforms. So Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, the list goes on and on. I have 2 albums out currently. And we also do sell the tangible copies on my website, monicasaldivar.square.site. So that's another place that you can get both CDs. As far as my social media accounts, I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Most of those are going to be Monica Saldivar Music or Monica Saldivar. We try to make it easy for everybody so that it's the same thing.
Sure.
But yeah, we usually post on the Monica Saldivar Music page on Facebook for anything that's coming up, for any major shows or music release or anything like that. So that's the cool part about it.
Perfect. Maybe we can get you maybe we can get some Monica Saldivar merch and give it away on this show here for our Latino Business Report listeners. Okay, with that, anything you want to say to your fans out there? Anything I didn't cover that you'd like to bring up before we go ahead and sign off?
I definitely want to say thank you so much for continuing the support all throughout my entire journey. It's been an amazing couple of years. I want to say it's going to be about 11 years. Feels like it's been a long time, but I do want to say thank you so much to everybody who has followed, who has continued to follow, or who has just joined this journey with me. I want to thank my band members. Thank you guys so much for putting up with me and sticking by. And it's been an amazing 5 years. We just celebrated 5 years of being together as a band, and I want to say thank you for that. Mom, Dad, Joey, Thea Susie, Josie, thank you guys so much for the support and for continuously becoming a team. We have so much more work to do, and we're getting there. So Thank you guys so much. My family, my friends, y'all know who y'all are. Thank you guys for, always supporting, always being positive. And I want to say, I am super blessed for all of it. Thank you to my musical brothers and sisters for your words and your support and your advice all throughout. It means a lot to feel among you as a peer. And so I want to say thank you for that.
All right. Monica, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Monica Saldivar who's an amazing singer, a talent, and just one heck of a human being. I want to thank you for being here today. You've been listening to the Latino Business Report. Once again, my name is J.R. Gonzalez. You can find Latino Business Report on all platforms. You can also find us on YouTube. We're starting to put our entire library on YouTube. And to find out more information about Monica and some of the upcoming stuff we have, you can go to latinobusinessreport.com. Thank you very much, and till next time.